And I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting. And she showed me some of the stuff that she had made using Free Code Camp, and I was like, okay, well, this actually sounds quite useful. Hey wonderful people, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be talking to you guys about how I learned to code, what my experience was like, what languages I chose to start from, what does that even mean, all this language malarkey that you may not know. Well, I am going, oh my gosh, like, who is texting my phone like this? Okay, never mind, it's my husband. I'm going to be talking to you guys about why I learned to code, how I learned to code, what has it done for me in life? Did it help? And how I kind of finessed my way into a good job after teaching myself kind of just the basic amount of code. If you don't know what it is I do for a living or where it is I work, feel free to check out my other video. I think I'm literally, did you see? I literally just looked up as if I was actually expecting the link to pop up above my head. Just click on the link. Just click on the link, guys. That video will just be talking about where I work and what it is I do, and how it is I got into that job. So I don't have to go through all of that, but it does mention in that video as well the 4 languages that I did learn at the time before going into that job as well. So, right, I was working in an IT job a few years ago. And in that IT job had nothing to do with code or anything. It was literally just kind of IT support. I was doing that. I had graduated from my undergrad, needed a job. I was doing that, and it just made more sense to kind of go into that because while I was studying my undergrad, I had worked in IT part-time. So I was like, cool, in my little IT job, this is great. And then because of my IT job, I kind of had to work here and there with some of the guys from the data science team in our organization. And for those of you who don't know, in terms of data science, they usually have learned a couple of different languages that they use for sort of data analysis and etc, etc, etc. And so I got to chatting to a couple of those guys, and it just sounded a little bit interesting, and it was like, okay, this sounds all right. And so I thought I would give this coding thing a try. So luckily, there's actually a guy at the time who was in my team who had learned to code and who was now doing quite a bit of coding himself within our team, and was actually looking to move to another team where he would primarily just be coding. So I asked his advice, you know, like, what languages should I learn? What should I do? Like, okay, disclaimer for you guys as well. Anyone who knows me knows I just like to, I'm a bit flouncy, okay? I like to go from this to this to this to this to this. I like to learn a bunch of stuff. I don't always learn it to, you know, and master it. I just learn it to the point that I need to in order to like secure me my next thing or my. It sounds so bad. It just sounds like I've got commitment issues, but essentially I do. I just don't believe in being tied down to one thing. Do you know what I mean? So even when I have a lot on my plate, if one of those things does not include me learning a new skill, I get very antsy, very itchy, and very anxious. I need to be learning something new, some form of new skill. Hence the name of my channel, obviously, Joe of all trades, master of none. So I was like, well, this coding thing sounds like another thing for me to learn. So that's what I did. In the evenings, I would be online on Code Academy, which I'm sure you've all heard of, and I decided to start with Python because I'd heard it was the easiest to learn. But not just that, Python was one of the ones that were related to data science, and data science was related to just the sciences in general, and I had come from an undergrad science degree. Yeah, that makes sense. That was how I kind of related them all, and I was like, Python it is. Why not? I started using Code Academy in the evenings. Sometimes during my actual work shift, I was learning Python. The benefits of working in an IT job where you're paid to actually sit at a computer, right? And what I found was after kind of going through Code Academy, I did not pay for the pro package, just gonna be straight up with you. I went just for the basic one. I felt like, okay, do you know what? This is getting somewhere. I'm actually enjoying this. It's making sense to me. This is what I kind of want to do. And so I finished the Code Academy one, and then started using things like Data Camp, Learn Python the Hard Way. All these links, by the way, will be in the description box so that you can actually check them out if you want to. But I actually had quite a bit of fun learning these, but the problem I had was, okay, I've gone through all these tutorials, but I don't feel like I have any sort of like real world experience. Like, I don't think I would be comfortable doing this as a job. But anyway, it didn't really matter because I was kind of just still doing it for fun anyway. And then I joined this really cool sort of like workshop group in London. And what they do is each, like, you know, throughout the week and stuff, they usually have different kinds of workshops happening in different locations. And you can come along, and if you want, you can work on your own stuff, or you can work on one of their tutorials that they provide you with. There was usually free food, so I was always there. And so, yeah, I just started kind of going to those to kind of practice. And while I was there, one of the lovely ladies that I met there, she was the one who actually told me about something called Free Code Camp. And I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting. And she showed me some of the stuff that she had made using Free Code Camp. And I was like, okay, well, this actually sounds quite useful, because it's not just a bunch of random tutorials where you're just teaching me how to do stuff but not how to actually apply it. This is something, you know, an actual tool for me to go on and learn and practice and create real stuff. So I decided to check it out. Sorry if I'm fidgeting a lot, guys. I'm literally on the floor, so like my legs just like, oh, like jelly. So joined Free Code Camp. This is all once again online. It was completely free, as it says in the name, Free Code Camp. And there was so many tutorials, guys, like honestly, but it was so useful. I stand so hard for Free Code Camp. Like, honestly, Free Code Camp, if you see this video, sponsor me, because I've been telling people about you. You end up creating a bunch of stuff, creating a portfolio, little like apps and web apps and all these different kinds of stuff. They teach you all the kind of a lot of the software and things that you'd be using as an actual coder. So using GitHub, talks about jQuery, what is jQuery, what is Node.js, what are all these random things that make no sense to you when you haven't actually started coding yet as a proper, you know, real world coder in a professional environment. So you're going through these projects, you get certification when you complete certain sections, which is always useful to have. But part of the reason I loved this so much was just because, number one, with coding in general, it's something that you can learn in your free time. You don't have to go to university to study it. You don't have to get a degree in it. You don't have to be qualified in computer science. It is something that you can just learn by yourself. And once you are at a certain point, then yeah, you can go ahead and apply for interviews the same way anybody else could who did actually take computer science. The only thing is that as someone who's learning independently, it is a little bit harder for you to know what it is. How do I explain it? It's harder for you to kind of establish everything that you need to know, if that makes sense, because you don't know what you don't know, you know? So sometimes there'll be maybe little gaps in your knowledge. Sometimes you'll stumble across things and be like, oh, okay, did not know that, had not heard of that, but I think it's something I need to know. And so yeah, it can be a little bit more difficult in that case for those of us who are not coming from a university taught background. However, I have not ever felt like it put me behind anybody else in the coding profession. I didn't feel like I was lacking anything because I didn't have a degree. One thing I forgot to mention. So Free Code Camp actually focuses on like HTML, CSS and JavaScript, so it's not Python related. Well, it wasn't at the time that I was using it anyway. And so I ended up picking up JavaScript as well using Free Code Camp, which was pretty useful. And then shortly after I learned, like guys, it'd only literally been a few months, like honestly, literally just a few months, I ended up in a role where I was teaching intro to coding courses for other people, for, you know, obviously a really good company. But alongside that, obviously I have been working on other apps and things like that on the side, developing that skill. And it has been so beneficial. Like honestly guys, like if you are considering a career change, if right now you're maybe unsure of what it is you want to do, you know, you're unsure of what your options are, I would say really look into it, especially in wherever it is that you live. Look into what options you have for free and see what's there. Free Code Camp itself has a bunch of interview practice tutorials and projects and stuff on there, which are really good for when you feel like, okay, I'm actually ready to start applying for a job. That's there as well, which is really useful. And you can learn it all from home. So as long as you have access to a computer and the internet, oh my God, like so much is open to you. So definitely, if it's something that you are thinking about, pursue it. Oh, and we need more women in this industry as well. If you are a female who's interested in getting into tech and stuff like that, this is a route that you can use to get in there as well. Like I said, you don't have to have a previous degree in computer science or anything like that. That's never held me back. I've never lacked because of it. So I would definitely say to give it a go and see how you find it. And any questions that you have, I'm always happy to answer in the comments. Feel free to ask me anything. I'm always like literally through. But if you want more videos like this in terms of different kinds of career stuff, because I've done a lot of random shit. So if you are interested in more videos like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Of course, drop a comment to let me know. And I can talk about a bunch of other stuff, you know, whether it be coding, whether it be dental school, whether it be language learning, whether it be IT support, being a technician, anything, cake decorating, all the random stuff. Let me know and I will definitely aim to get a video out there for you. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe as well. Subscribe. Bye.